Are you in your 20s or 30s and wondering why some people build real wealth while so many others never do? I've spent over a decade working in finance, and there is one inescapable truth: that the rich make money moves early and they make them consistently. In this video, I'm breaking down the 13 money strategies that rich people use before they turn 40. And this is the best part. You don't need a huge salary or perfect timing. These are habits anyone can build starting today and can help you make up for lost time. They negotiate their salary. This is a mistake that can cost you hundreds of thousands, and this is not a finger-in-the-air calculation, it's the outcome of this analysis. A large-scale study found that employees who negotiated their starting salary received an average of $5,000 more than those who didn't. When you factor in annual pay rises, they estimated that this starting bump compounds to over $600,000 over a 40-year career. So, by not negotiating their starting salary that one time, it ends up costing them over $500,000. And here's why. The starting salary will compound over time, so the longer you work, the wider the gap will get between the people who did negotiate and the people who didn't. But that's only half the story. These people who have the minerals to negotiate early on in their career are going to be even more likely to do it later on in their career. But the truth is that the difference might look more like this. And I think people always falsely assume that negotiating later on in your career is more important. 5% is more money if you make a higher salary, but that totally misses this whole point about compounding. Make sure you check out this book by Chris Voss. The book is called Never Split the Difference. They avoid high-interest debt like the plague. You will rarely find someone who got rich whilst carrying a mountain of credit card debt. Successful people know that paying 20% interest is like trying to climb a mountain in flip-flops. I'm sure it can be done, but God, you're making it harder for yourself. They avoid it at all costs, and if they're ever in it, they get out of it fast. And I think we should also clarify two really important points, because I see this atomic level nonsense around all the time. And I was very specific when I said high interest debt, because not all debt is the same. Getting a mortgage to get onto the housing ladder is not the same as buying an 85-inch TV on your credit card. So that's the first thing. Not all debt is the same. And the second thing is that there are people who are at the other end of the spectrum who will convince themselves that the debt is worth it. Well, I need to lease a brand new car to get to work. That is, your brain is filled with cottage cheese nonsense. They start with where they want to end up and then they work backwards to justify it. The rich avoid high interest debt, and you should too. They automate good financial habits. So rich people don't rely on willpower, their memory, the stars aligning, their calendar reminders, none of that stuff. When it comes to their saving and investing, they automate it. And this is a habit they cement into their financial routines early on, like really early on. But what does this practically look like? The rich set up automatic transfers to their saving and investments accounts. They put their bills on direct debits. They line their bills up to be paid on the same day. They use apps to round up and invest spare change. All of this contributes to good financial sense. This removes emotion and makes saving your absolute default. It also means your saving and investing is just taken care of right off the bat. You never even see the money to be able to spend it. Automation is the hidden engine of wealth creation by making sure you're doing it consistently. They are intentional with their resources. Your time, your effort, your money, your attention, your blood, sweat, and your tears. The rich start by being deliberate about how they use their resources. They spend their money on things they actually want to spend their money on, not the things they think will impress other people who they don't particularly like in all probability. And we maintain on this channel, find the things that are important to you, that give you genuine life satisfaction and is just nourishing for your soul. Spend money on those things and cut costs aggressively everywhere else. And for me, there is absolutely no contradiction between going on a super nice holiday with your family, somewhere, some fantastic super duper resort, driving a 15-year-old car. I think there's no contradiction there at all, and the rich agree. They avoid lifestyle creep. Now, this one is especially important when you're young. The rich just get that if you start your life on this trajectory of keeping up with the Joneses early on, you'll have a lifetime of buying stuff you don't need and being miserable as you start comparing yourself to everyone around you. And yes, it can be very tempting to upgrade your car, upgrade your house, and go on holidays every time you get a pay rise. But the people who build real wealth resist that. If they get a 5% raise, they understand that if they go out and lease a new car that costs them 7%, then they're worse off than before the pay rise. And the rich anchor their lifestyle below their current income so that every raise, every increase in income becomes another saving and investing opportunity, not an opportunity to get thrown into a new expense trap. And as Morgan Housel puts it in The Psychology of Money, wealth is the nice cars not purchased, the diamonds not bought, the watches not worn, the clothes forgone, and the first class upgrade declined. Wealth is financial assets that haven't yet been converted into the stuff you see. They build multiple streams of income. People who are good with money understand this one super important fact, that no matter how much you make, if you rely on a single income to pay your bills and set up your financial future self, no matter how good you are with money, this gives you a single point of failure. Just take a look at how many athletes who may have signed for many, many millions still end up broke. As soon as that paycheck stops coming in, it's all cash burning from then on. And so the rich rarely rely on one source of income. By 40, most will have at least 3. Their job, their investments, and something on the side. Rental income, maybe an online business or a side hustle, whatever it is. And Pew Research found that young adults who report higher financial independence are more likely to have a side gig or self-employment income than their peers who rely on a single paycheck. So again, the empirical evidence backs this up. And I want to be totally clear. I'm not talking about these rise and grind morons that you see online absolutely everywhere. But multiple streams of income will help accelerate you towards your financial and your life goals, and to mitigate the risk so that if you do lose your job or the income dries up, you have something to fall back on. They invest in high income skills. Now we have a whole video coming out on this very topic because we're all being told that AI is going to replace every single one of us in the next 20 minutes. So making sure you're investing in high income skills is more important than ever. So subscribe so you don't miss it. I'll put a link just here when the video is live. But the rich get that some skills are force multipliers and some aren't. Being a great manager who can manage a team of 5 people to work 5% more efficiently is a better skill than just being you on your own and working 10% better. They're looking for the skills that AI can't touch and that's going to make them more valuable to build their own businesses or to their employer. Now, clearly, nobody has a crystal ball and can gaze into the future about what's going to be the next big thing, but they are, at least, as we mentioned, intentional about those skills, and they invest their resources at learning them and getting good at them. They invest early and consistently. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. And successful people know that time is on your side, that when you're in your 20s and 30s, time can be one of your biggest assets. They start investing early because even just those small amounts can compound and accumulate and accrue to massive gains over time. Put it this way, someone who starts investing £200 a month at age 25 and stops at 35 will end up with more money at 65 than someone who waits until they're 35 and still invests £200 a month for 30 straight years. But early on, starting small helps you build that habit to make sure that you're putting money away little and often. But most importantly, it's that you're doing it consistently. They buy assets, not liabilities. And I want to add a second half to this one, is that they know the difference between assets and liabilities. Buying a brand new car that is going to lose over half of its value in the first 3 years is it's not the great store of value you think it is. Using the same money to buy stocks, invest in yourself, buy rental or investment properties, or even investing in your own home. These are going to be much more likely to increase your net worth over time rather than drain it. And again, starting this process off as soon as you can or as early as you can pays dividends, in some cases literally pays dividends to you. People who are good with money and people who are rich know the difference between assets and liabilities, and they put their resources into accumulating the former, not the latter. They insure against disaster. Now, few things can screw up your perfectly laid financial plan than life. You never know what is right around the corner, and whilst insurance might not attract some of the attention, some of the level of interest in pop culture as investing does, but insurance is nonetheless essential. It's not super sexy, but it is super smart. Insurance in all its forms can be your last line of financial defense. But the key thing is making sure you have insurance policies that work for you and your circumstances. And this is especially important if you have people who rely on you financially. People who build and, frankly, keep wealth don't gamble with their future. They get health insurance, life insurance, if they have a family, they get income protection, because one unexpected event can wipe out years of your hard work of saving and investing. This is about protecting your downside and hedging against life so that you're not one accident away from complete financial ruin. They take calculated risks. So your 20s and 30s are prime opportunities for you to take calculated risks. And I want to emphasize the part calculated in risks. In all probability, you might not have kids, you might not have a mortgage or rent to pay, and you have the time and the energy to do it on your side. The older you get, the more those dials will turn in the opposite direction. And frankly, you might also get the benefit of the doubt from people. Someone who is young and putting themselves out there to take a risk may be looked on more favourably than someone who's older and still trying to figure it out. And I think people admire that. Before 40, you have time on your side, and that's when risk-taking is not only smartest, but can pay off the best. Start that business, switch careers, invest in stocks, move countries. The upside is high, and the downside is often just time and the experience you've gained. They surround themselves with smart people. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This is a quote that I think about a lot. The rich spend time with other rich people. Now, you could be cynical and say that they want to impose economic barriers, private members clubs, yacht clubs, and so on. And I think undoubtedly there is some element of that. But there is also benefit in networking. Have people around you who can give you ideas, or people who can stress test your own ideas. But just a quick PSA on this one. You don't need to be a psychopath and only have rich friends and to cut anyone out of your life because of their economic circumstances. That is just psychopathic and insane behaviour. Life goes beyond money, and that should apply with who you decide to spend your time with. They think long-term and act accordingly. This might be the biggest one of all. The number one thing that rich people understand is that they need to think long-term, and the best time to start thinking long-term is when you're young. They get you that setting yourself up for success in later life is much easier when you start earlier. People who build wealth before 40 aren't chasing fast money or meme stocks. They think in decades, not days. They invest in low-cost index funds. They invest in assets, not status symbols. They delay gratification because they understand what's really at stake, potentially their financial future. You don't need to be rich to make rich person decisions. In fact, the smartest money moves are usually the least flashy. They're small, boring, consistent, but incredibly powerful over time. Even if you only make a few of these money moves before you turn 40, your future self will thank you. We have 3 videos on screen. These are books you need to read to get rich. This is why you have to think about money like the 1%. And this is the optimal order to invest your money. These are all critical videos, and I'd really recommend you check them out. You've been watching Modern Money Talk. If you've liked this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel.